All right, trying a old buzzard transmission, the old tube radio network.
You may not find us on your TV, because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
Okay, the old tube radio network. No matter how much I prepare and pre-prep for this, it never seems like I can get into the air chair on time with all the items of interest and things going on. This is your old tube radio network, 27085. Real radio's glowing in the dark. The shortwave listeners, the tube radio operators, and anything else that happens to pop by. Gray line is coming up. The band is open. Sunspots are up, and hopefully the radios are warming up as well. My name is Dennis, net controller for this net, which has been happening on this frequency for, I don't know, what is it, OBP, 36 years, 37 years? It's been a long time. A group of people, a general association, not a club, no secret handshake, no dues. Come on in. Join us, especially if you have a tube radio. We'll be checking those in after the roll call, and we want to hear from you. Hopefully you do something like this where you are a get on the air night, as it were. We will start with the roll call with the shortwave listeners. But before I do that, because it is a great afternoon, a lot of people are busy, and there are stations here and there, are there any early check-ins?
Break channel. Break channel.
The break, go ahead.
650, Dennis, please.
All right, we'll get 650 in. We'll let you go back to the festivities. You are sounding good on the channel this evening. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network.
You actually came up quite a bit in your audio. Usually I have to fight the freaking noise for it, but you're way above it tonight.
All right, I have done something right. They always help me out. Charlie and Chet are very good about making sure that the equipment is running and that I've got my tie straight, so I will give the kudos to them tonight.
10-4, happy Father's Day to everybody on Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. See you next week.
All right, coming up tomorrow. Thanks for the reminder, and you are sounding good, and hopefully I will continue to sound good as well. All right, let's see if we got any other early check-ins. KB6GFD, listening for early check-ins.
All right, let's try this on 11 meters.
Yeah. All right. All right, this is the Old Tube Radio Network. Listening for, I think there was a distant check-in, OTR standing by. Oh boy, I can hear you transmitting, but your audio is down in my noise level. Take another transmission.
Well, how about we just do it on this particular radio? How about a check-in from Sequoia National Park?
All right, so Sequoia National Park. I believe I heard you on the 11-meter side at whatever wattage, but I hear you where you're at. Tell us who you are. I believe this is Mike SWL47, and where are you at again? Over.
So I'm in Sequoia National Park right now on top of Morrow Rock. So this is basically just a huge granite rock on the south end of the giant sequoia forest, and it's chilly up here. I think we're somewhere around almost 7,000 feet above you guys.
I believe that is correct. Now, Morrow Rock is in the, like you said, the Sequoia National Park. It is a giant boulder, and you have to physically climb this thing through a series of etched granite stairs that take you up. I don't know how high you're going, but if I recall, it's quite a climb, and you typically are out of breath half of the way up. So you are at the top looking down, or looking out, I should say?
Yeah, I'm up here. There are quite a few tourists up here at this late time, and just try not to drop any radios off the side of of this rock. I can hear you. I'm on my obviously on my 2-meter HT right now, and you're just the signal is crystal clear up here. You're 5'9" on top of the rock here. On 11 meters, I can read you just perfectly clear as well. After I sign off on this one, I'll say goodbye on that band. But yeah, on both frequencies, you're just hitting this like perfect.
All right, very good. I'm pulling up for anybody on the video. I'm going to pull up a video here. There's the rock. There's the Morro Rock. So it doesn't look very big, but you can see if you look at the bottom, those are the tall pine trees. So that rock is way, way up there. There's a series of steps that actually serpentine around the side of the rock, and Mike is at the very top. There's a space part where you can stand. It's cordoned off with some pipes. They mention about the lightning danger. What is the weather like up there?
Well, funny you should ask. It's freezing. I had a jacket on when I was hiking up here, and of course I was perspirating like crazy, and got real hot. So once I got up on top here, I took the jacket off. It's called convection cooling, and it's definitely chilly up here.
All right, there's a shot of the stairs. It's sort of a trail, and you walk up the side, and I think this is okay. This is a picture of where he's standing. Let me see if I can get it. And there's the railing. It's at the top of the rock. You can see across the Sierras, and probably I would say it's a 50-mile shot direct, and you can look down into Fresno and the Central Valley, Clovis, the South Valley. So he's up there at probably about 5 watts on the HT. All right, you are sounding good. We will get you checked in. I did hear you on the walkie-talkie, but my noise level is about an S3, and you were right in the noise, so you probably needed some type of... I bet if you hooked up the old tube radio, I would hear you. It sounds good. I'm surprised. I guess it's daylight. They're still open, so hopefully you can make it down. I wouldn't want you to get locked in up there.
Yeah, there's a couple there's a couple areas on this trail going back down where if you make one misstep, they're not going to find you for quite some time. But thanks for letting me check in. And again, you sound great on 11 meters up here. Like I said, I'll sign off here and then try and say goodbye there. But thanks for letting me check in. This what a great way this is to use these fun little toys. 73, stay out of trouble. KJ6 EQB.
I can actually hear them on both radios.
All right, and that was Harvey there. Said he can hear you on both radios. Up at Morro Rock, I think it's M-O-R-O Rock. Anybody wants to look that up in the Sierra National Forest, about maybe 60 miles away. Due as the crow flies, it's a much longer drive than that. And talking to him on the 2-meter crossband. If you're still there, Mike, before you go, take another transmission, fire up the walkie-talkie. We'll see if we can hear you. KB6GFD. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I hear you good. I should turn on my my noise reduction. Anyway, you're making it through over. All right, I hear you. You're just in the noise. It just needs a little bit more audio, and it would work. Thank you, 47, for a crossband check-in. Also on 11 meters as well. If I had a beam, I point it to you. I'm sure you'd come up out of the noise. So, thanks for the extra effort. Enjoy the park. The park was closed due to the fire last year, but it's open now. It's a great place to be. That's Kings Canyon, Sequoia, and Yosemite. About an hour to the east here from Fresno. Great place to go. It takes about an hour to get there. It's perfect. Thanks for your check-in. And I guess I should get him up on that thing. All right, let me get the operational things back to where they should be. Anybody else want to check in early before we start the roll call here?
145, like early check-in, please.
And hello, Tony. I will get 145 checked in. You're sounding good.
W6OTR. Okay, thank you, Dennis. Really appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Tony. Got you checked in. Yeah, okay. Let me get to the SWL list. 00. You should be if you're playing the home game. This is week 7, 6/18/2022. John is right there checking in. Says my modulator is modulating and looking dapper. Yeah, we're back in the OTR official seersucker suit. I've got the pocket protector. There's a pen we'll put in there today. And we are ready to go. It was 79. It's 74 outside. This is beautiful beach weather, and we're not even at the beach. So if anybody is by their radio tonight, I will be surprised. We are checking in SWL1, of course, on the Cosmic check-in. SWL2, OBP, he's over on the video chat site, so say hello to Kevin, Mr. OBP. We went from, 33 sunspots, 0 sunspots, to well over 150. The band has been doing pretty good for the sporadic E-skip, so we could have things going on. I talked to Dwayne earlier, SWL30, so we'll see if they come in there, and we'll find out. SWL3, get a proxy check-in for Rob. Then we jump up to SWL7.
SWL7 checking in.
All right, you are sounding good. Hopefully I'm coming through the noise.
Oh yeah, blasting straight through, not too bad.
Okay, yeah, some people I said they can actually hear me tonight, so if I can't make it a mile away, we are in trouble. All right, SWL10. And I was dragging my feet. Chrissy is out listening and monitoring the video side. Talked to the station. Chrissy, as you know, talked to the station up there. Dwayne's sounding good. I was just turned on the radio. It was probably 4:30 getting things set up. And Dwayne just popped right in there for that little moment. So it was sounding good. We'll see if you guys can hear us later on. Jump in, as always. Let's go to SWL13. And it looks like my comments are refreshing and working, so I will be watching at oldtuberadio.net for check-ins that way. Check-ins over the air, of course, and anywhere you can do it. Let's go to SWL16. Charlie is in there somewhere, checking in. And I see you have a cue card duty tonight. So thanks for that. We're dressed up. We're getting compliments on the audio and the radio, so everything is hooked up as per normal. That doesn't mean that I won't break it as the course of the evening goes on. 16 is checked in. SWL 17. SWL 18. SWL, let's see, I got a note to proxy in Mr. KDA. SWL 19. I'm looking to see if Derby is in. I've got to look at the right chart here. That would be Belfast, Maine. All right, so, okay. Yeah, I don't have my water. Okay, Charlie's got, what is it? Okay, this is instead of water, what are we having tonight? Tea. Ah, not bad. Unsweetened. What is this? Lipton? No. Special OTR blend. It is good. Wow, I didn't know we had the special OTR blend of teas. Looks good. Sounds good. Tastes good. If it is good, then whatever. Thanks for that. Let's go over to SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Please check myself in. 29 and 54. And I'll have a radio of interest to check in, and that'll be for sale. So I'll put it on a little later Facebook, but I'll explain what it is later.
All right. Well, if you're on it now, it sounds good. Making it through the noise, and something, as always, something to look forward to on your Old Tuber Radio Network. Thanks, Harvey. We'll be talking with you in moments.
You got it.
Trying to get you officially checked in. SWL21, Mr. JT, where tonight... Do I have a picture of this? Yeah, we're tonight on Old Radio Night. He was on the Regency Imperial DNA Hawk reverse preamp. Let me see if I've got a shot of... okay, there it is. Oh, isn't that a beautimous Regency Imperial? Someday, I don't know when, I'll have to open mine up, change the capacitors, get it polished up, check the sketch in the selector, and ready to go. But that was Old Radio Night tonight.
501, get out of my radio. 501-21, I'm gone.
And there it is. JT is
501-21, I'm gone.
Is always got the skip going. I left that on the air light. And let's see, what else can I tell you about? Old Radio Night. Also, there are, let me get back to the controller. There are, on Old Radio Night, I think he's got some T-shirts going on, so check that out. Check out JTDD21 and see if you can pick up one of those Old Radio Night T-shirts. Because you gotta have it. If you're gonna be on the radio, you gotta have an Old Radio Night T-shirt. Thank you, 21, sounding good as always from the Wasama Swamp. The Old Tube Radio Network, real radios going in the dark. Let's go over to, I gotta get my SWL list back. SWL 22. And the contact, go ahead. All right, 70 Mobile, you are in the spot. Up on the hill somewhere, you are checked in. Over.
Thanks very much, man. Appreciate it.
All right, Mark, SWL 70 up in the hills as well. Not quite as high and as far away as 47 Mike, but still sounding good. Let me head over to 23. 23 Skidoo. I'm going to get Mitch checked in. He's probably mobile somewhere. We'll see if he's up on the hill when he checks in tonight. Echo Link is up, just not the link, but the link. And I see, looks like Tony is on. So good, we'll pick that up coming up. Over to SWL 24. SWL 25. I think 25 is playing somewhere tonight. I will get him checked in. Let me go over to page 2, SWL 27. I want to see if he's in Studio G tonight. Over we go, or up we go, up the road to Gary, SWL 28. And Gary is there, and who was it? Foxman 362 says I should try Louisiana sweet iced tea. Well, this is iced, but it's definitely not sweet. But it is good, and they said it's a special OTR blend. What did you guys do? You pulled something off the tree and boiled it, I think. It still tastes good. I don't know what kind of plants they have out by the pool. Gary says hello to everyone. Happy Father's Day coming up to all that are fathers, enjoying the cool Delta breeze, which we are getting a lot of as it comes down the valley into Fresno here. So Gary's up right where the breeze comes through. He's having a cold RC. Man, an RC Cola. I remember we used to put 10 cents in the machine, the bottle would come out. It's a little bit more than 10 cents, and it's probably not in a bottle. Let's celebrate old tube radios. I agree. Thanks, Gary. We got a proxy check in for SWL 29. SWL 30. We do not have the conditions, and I I wasn't recording. I did have the recorder on when Dwayne popped in earlier this afternoon, but a big X in the square, live and direct. And Steve, I wish it was a Long Island iced tea. 10 o'clock would be fun when 10 o'clock rolled around. Let's go to SWL 31. I'll admit, I'm a lightweight. SWL 32. Shortwave listener 33, myself, Bozo Control, the Jingle Singers, who are here tonight. The Jingle Singers are here tonight after they're back from their vacation. Do you want to do? Okay, they said they want to just say hello back in the thing. So go ahead. Whatever you guys want to do.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
Yeah, we got to check your microphones. I think you guys are out of phase over there. I noticed the asymmetry meter goes to the negative when you guys are singing. So I think we got a phasing problem. But you sound good. Old Tube Radio Network, real radios glowing in the dark. We will be checking in the radios shortly. Over to SWL 34. Just listening. Sounds like the mini-grass. SWL 35. I'm still expecting Mr. Bill to pop in with his great radio station when we get some conditions from Cheyenne. I was talking to Wyoming on 40 meters early this morning. Conditions weren't too great, but we did have a nice contact going through that way. Making sure I get all the X's in the squares here. Over to SWL 36, Jerry in Arizona. Haven't heard from Jerry in a while. Hope everything is going good. I know he had some radio projects up on the radio bench. Hope those are going okay. Let's go to SWL 37.
SWL 37, good evening, Dennis. And could you check in 45 Ed up on the hill?
Let's see, 45 or 43, Crazy Eddie. We'll get him checked in, and we have you checked in as well. Over.
All right, thank you. I'll be back with you know what.
Okay, and Cornbread is not checking in early. He's not checking in. He's not checking in late, and he's also, Chrissy, he's also not commenting. He's figured out a way to not comment. He's figured out a way to leave a comment to not comment. Just the way he's figured out how to check in without checking in. So Cornbread is a crafty operator, let me tell you. Let's go over to SWL 38. Sam, I saw you in there earlier. Our conditions are a little bit too long, I think, for the short hop into Byron. We'll get you checked in here in Fresno. Thank you, 38. SWL 39. SWL 40. SWL 41. Who is that? Out in New York. Road Dog 507. Where you got to start, you got to stay up late just to get in early on that. SWL 42. Shortwave listener 43 with the proxy check-in. SWL 44. Get a proxy in for 44. Up the hill. Hello, Paul. SWL 45. And Paul may have trouble hearing me because the skip is still in from the mini grass. Paul, if you're listening, probably listening online, I've got you checked in over. Speaking about online, over on the bench here. Let's see, Dallas, Georgia, up in the balcony, waiting to check in. Shinston, Virginia, or close to it. Hello, Fresno, Florence, Kentucky, Georgetown, Ohio, Inez, Kentucky as well. The unknown SWL wandering around. The boys in Squamish out on the mezzanine tonight. So they're not on the balcony. Come on down to the mezzanine. They will fix you up before you go into the green room. Anoka, Minnesota, of course, Fresno, California, and right here in the special. There must be special tickets for Louisville, Kentucky, having the front row seat. Close enough to see the fact that the buttons are falling off the seersucker suit. The Old Tube Radio Network looking for SWL 46. All right, sounds like you got the fans going or something happening over there. I do hear you, and we'll put the X in the square.
Yes, sir. Lots of fans.
All right, well, it's almost, if you can, aren't allergic to the outside air like me, you can open the windows. I think it's 74 degrees in the middle of June, and the sun isn't down yet in Central California. Sounding good.
Thank you, sir. The whole house fan is running. It's nice and cool in here.
Yeah, it is, and it's not going to stay. It's not going to stay like that. So we're enjoying the beach weather while we can get it. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Happy Father's Day.
And the guy who was wandering down the hill up at Morrill Rock, I think as it gets dark, they probably want you to get off the rock. I don't know if it's got lights in it or not. But if you're listening, and let me see, where's the other microphonium here? Yeah, if you're listening, 47, Mike, we've got you checked in again. Thanks for the extra effort and sounding good from the rock, KB6GFD. I've been up there many times, and you are, even though it doesn't, you're going up steps, but some of them are narrow, and you just go up and up, and you are definitely exhausted by the time, if you get to the top, by the time you get to the top. And then it's windy, and there's that little railing, and all those warnings about lightning. If you see lightning, do not stand up. So he was braving it. He must have had the antenna sticking up there, and the handy-talkie. Anyway, we've got 47 checked in. Let's go to SWL 48. SWL 49. All right, 49 from the Mobile, the Sweet Country Mama and Smitty sounding good through the noise. If you can hear me, you are checked in. Over. All right, 49, got you checked in from the Mobile. Over. All right, thanks for checking in. Let's go up the hill to SWL 50. All right, pulling me out of the noise tonight. Sounding good, and we've got the X in the square. Over. And who's listening? 219 just got down as OTR is coming up. 219 waving, sounding good. SWL 51.
SWL 51, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. I think I saw you on the chat window, but I hear you live and direct. Over. All right, 51, Dave, you are checked in. 51's checked in. Over. All right, Dave out there in Sanger checked in. SWL 52. Hello to Joseph V. 433 across the river from Crazy Bob Madara, and they're in South Jersey. Haven't heard from Crazy Bob in a while, but he made our Bob and Steve Open that plays here every week on the Old Tube Radio Network. SWL 53. Did we get you checked in early, Bob? Well, if not, I'm checking you in now. the Old Tube Radio Network. Hello to Nelson just coming in. The sun is about ready to come up. OTR is on the air. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let me go to the video side real quick before we turn the page and just say hello, radio. 133, Operator Ken, I believe, out at the coast, listening in. Cornbread, of course, not checking in. Levon is out and listening from the radio room tonight. Uncle Hairball coming up to you. Tony will pick you up on the Echo Link. Bob S. is in. King Duckford coming up to you. Hemorrhoid, hello. Radio Caller Radio. Also listening in. Neutral Observation. Giving the Old Tube Radio a thumbs up. Echo 148. Greeting the Old Tube Radio fans from Arkansas on the road to Colorado tonight. And glad to be on listening to OTR for sure. Hope we can. Thanks for letting us ride along. Sounds like a good trip. Steve D is on. He says the tree is waving again. I think that is the wind is up a little bit. The window cadaver is out and doing the stuff. Butterbean from Georgia saying hello from Northeast Georgia. Man Cave Studios out there in North Carolina, waving from Greensboro, 406, so looking good. Thanks for the hello radio. And we are working good. Over to page 3, SWL 54 with the check-in. SWL 55. SWL 56.
Dennis in the net, 56, just for kicks.
Sounding good as always. I see the running man is up on the board. Well, I've got the board up. Let me check the weather station out there at the college. It is currently 72 degrees, humidity is 36. What a great evening. And wind is, it's picked up. Gusts to 9 miles per hour out of the northwest. Moving the trees around here, the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for checking in. 56. SWL 57 from Central Kentucky. Brown Dog Audio. Somebody said, did I have a note to make sure he got checked in? Anyway, I bet BDA will be in there at some point. Over to SWL 58. Get a proxy check-in for Jeremy. I've been working Friday nights. I haven't made the Friday night net in a couple of weeks now. I don't know what is going on. I'm missing out. SWL 59. Uncle Hairball, live and direct from his appearance on Old Radio Night here on the Old Tube Radio Network, checking in. 786 Iron Man from the boonies of South Kakalaki. Breaker broke. Sounding good, sir. Thanks for checking in. Let's go over to SWL 60.
Thank you, Dennis. Evening time to the fellows out there. Happy Father's Day to the whole bunch. SWL 60 checking in on the 2901 base, the DX 2527. Back to you, Dennis.
It's sounding good. And indeed on the liner notes, 291, DX 2527 radio. X in the square, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Let's see if I'm making it through the noise. SWL 61, Copenhagen, over. Well, he might be somewhere doing something. Anyway, I'm just checking in. We'll get to Dino a check-in. 61, if you can hear me, you are checked in. From North Dakota, Bontanero and beyond, SWL 62, King Duckford. I do believe Michael is there. Let me see. Yes, right in front of me, checking in tonight. Let me get the official checked in logo, and you should say that you are checked in above my shoulder here. Yes, it does. Let's go to, back to that North Georgia guy, Butterbean, checking in, SWL 63. Also, from his appearance on Old Radio Night, jumping into the Old Tube Radio Network, those are the true radio celebrities. They go from one program to the next because they are so popular. All right, well, thanks for joining us tonight. KD, and internet connection doesn't work on Echolink down in the cabin. All right, well, hopefully the candles are working. Hopefully the candles and the kerosene lamp are working. You don't need the internet. And, well, wait a minute. How are you listening in? How are you checking in if you don't have internet? I don't know. Maybe it's candle power. All right, we got you in, SWL 64. SWL 65. Shortwave listener 66. SWL 67, getting Bill in Canby checked in. If you can hear me, Bill, you are checked in. SWL 68. And I think Michael checked in early, New York 157. I think I saw him on the comments early on. So if you're listening, if you are listening 68, you are checked in, or you watch the playback. Yeah, I guess there's a playback that gets archived. Maybe you're watching for the first time and it's 2023. Well, hello to you from the past. Hello to you in the future from the past, the Old Tube Radio Network. Chrissy, I like that. I like that, Chrissy. Butterbean, how you been? Or you should say, how you been? Let's go to SWL 69. Kenny was in from Tulsa when we first came on. Kenny, we got you checked in. We're having great weather. We were having that postcard weather for a couple of days here in June. Not even 80 degrees. SWL 70, Mark checked in from the mobile a little bit earlier. SWL 71, Stan is in. Yeah, he's checking in over at oldtuberadio.net. Got the X in the square over to SWL 72. SWL 73, I got a note to check in music instructor, which I will do. Likewise, SWL 74, Ms. Jilly. SWL 75. And somebody just came in the door up there. Who just walked in? Woodland Park, Colorado. Hello. Hey, listen in. We might be having, the ice has melted in my special OTRT. We might be having some conditions out your way. Seneca, South Carolina, or places near and far there. Thanks for joining us tonight. Let's go to SWL 76. SWL 57. All right, BDA, I knew you would be in. I think maybe, I thought, well, maybe your internet connection is slow. Or you're like North Dakota there using the candles. 57, in Central Kentucky. All right, I put the X in the square. I'll get you officially checked in on the roster here above my shoulder. Trying to find out where I was on the list. Oh, yeah, we're going to SWL 76. SWL 77. A note to get a proxy check-in for 1017. SWL 78. Listening for Richard. I have not heard him on 40. I should have an easy shot to pick him up in 40 meters. We are just never on at the same time. Over to SWL 79. Over to SWL 80. And what do we want to do? Are they ready over there? Are the ready? Okay, we'll head over Where are we going? Oh, okay. We're going to head over to Bob and Steve and see what is happening over with Bob and Steve tonight.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
Whoopee is a good thing. What is going on? It's episode 120. Old Tube Radio, June 18th, 2022. Bob and Steve, tomorrow is Father's Day, so they remind us not to forget that. We found a garage sale Demco super satellite. I have... Where's the picture for that? I'm going to put it up on the video chat. Let me find it. And this is the actual... If I can find my control here. You know, there's the pages. Something's wrong with my pages. They're not. What is going on here? Here we go. All right, everything is kind of messed up. All right, let's go to, and I believe I would be right there, and I would be right there, and there you go. There's the Demco super satellite. So what they found was a Demco super satellite transmitter, receiver, speaker, and modulator. And it is set up, okay, they brought it into the lounge. I didn't notice that. I must have ran in here. So I always come in a different door. They won't let me go through the main door. But that is nice. That is just a super cool radio. And when you compare the transmitter receiver radios between the Brownings and the Buddies, I think for just sheer beauty and knobs and everything and lights and dials, the Demco takes the cake. He's got the whole piece, the satellite speaker, the modulator. So I hope that is get on the arable, and if not, it's going to look cool just sitting on the radio table. So it's set up here in the green room, so go by and watch it. They said they have it up and the lights are running, and I don't think it's making smoke. It probably smells cool. It's probably burning all the dust off the tubes. At the bar tonight and the pavilion area, it is nice outside there. It's starting to get a little chilly, so, you know, be aware. From Albuquerque, New Mexico, Te Pedro, Santa Fe salad. I don't know what that is. Tapetro. I'm not familiar with that. Santa Fe salad. Fresh greens loaded 3-head... I'm going to get this wrong. Fresh greens loaded 3-hand breaded chicken tender. Yeah, I want you to say that all with me. Fresh greens loaded 3-hand breaded chicken tenders. That's what I smelled when I came in. They're good. Mozzarella and cheddar cheese. I'm in for that. Diced peppers, maybe not. Onions, possibly not. Black beans, who knows? But you should get some. And finished with a signature sauce served with the ranch on the side. On the side is good for a lot of things. You can join us after the net for all of that, or as the net starts. And I'm going to have to adjust my video because the sun has gone down. Here on the Old Tube Radio Network, Bob and Steve, thank you as always. And, of course, they remind us to not forget to feed the fish.
27.085 OTR Channel 11.
All right, back. I'm going to let the transmitter cool off and make a camera adjustment. The Old Tube Radio Network, back in a second here. Won't let me adjust the video. All right. Let's try it this way. Still won't let me adjust the video. Well, that's okay. Why is that? Maybe it's on the screen somewhere and I just don't notice it. All right. Well, let's forget that. This is a radio program. Anyway, we don't need to. We don't need to do it. We don't need to adjust no video. Who's in? Who's in tonight? GWD Labs, thanks for joining us. I hear your audio, and I raise you an audio. Let's see. Yeah, we're working. Everything's working here tonight. We are got the lexicon at 15%. Let's see what happens. Hello? There it is at 30% now. I will go back down. Go back down to 15% on the lexicon. Let's go on with the roll call, because I do want to check in some radios. We are on page... Where are we at? Page 4, SWL 81. Get back on my list here. Steve Reno's checked in. Over to SWL 82. Got a proxy for 82. SWL 83. And SWL 41. Did I get you, Road Dog 507? No, I did not. All right. From New York, X in the square. Staying up late or maybe early by this point. Checking in from, of course, Hudson Valley. Saying good evening from the Hudson Valley CB Radio Club. Thanks for joining us tonight. SWL 84 running the, Jerry was running the Jefferson noontime net on 40 meters this evening, and man, was he sounding good. I think he was on one of the Drake radios. Just superb audio on the stock D104, and they're doing a good job across the West Coast. Jerry is checked in, and likewise, SWL 86, the Mountain Maid, SWL 87, Tandy Girl, and SWL 88, the Snowy Owl, looking for SWL 89. Hey, and don't go away. The tube radios are warming up. I can smell the dust burning off the tubes. Hopefully you can join us with your tube radio. This is the old Tube Radio Network. We will grab some of those coming up. SWL 90. Hello to Big John, 194 in Kentucky, joining us tonight, looking for SWL 91. Speaking of stations that are way out there, staying up late tonight, as always, hello, Felix, and hello to myself and all the SWLs, the old tube radio operators that are warming up the items of interest. Got you checked in from the Bronx. Thank you. SWL 92. SWL 93. SWL 95. Oh, SWL display is off. You know, when I come back, I was adjusting. Where is it? It should be that one right there. So 95 is in. We got 91 is in. So, all right, we're up to date. Yeah, because you've got it. How do you know if I've done it correctly? Unless you look for the, you are checked in right over there. All right, so coming up on page 4, 95, SWL 96. All right, yeah, and likewise, you're sounding good. I think the wind fixed my antenna. That's about the third person that says, how come I can hear you all of a sudden? And I'm thinking, I haven't changed any. Maybe it's the tea. I'm drinking the special OTR tea tonight. But anyway, I hear you as well, and we've got you checked in over. Okay, Dennis, you're sounding really good. Hey, I was even talking skip, which is legal to do. The FCC got rid of their 155-mile rule. You got to keep it at 4 watts or 5 watts DC input, but the limit on talking long distance is now over, and I don't know. All of a sudden, the radio works. So next week, it'll be something different. Thanks for checking in, Dennis. SWL 97. SWL 97, old tube operator Jim checking in. Yeah, I saw that. You had a couple of radios. I don't know if it was an Imperial. What did you have? I think you were telling JT operating some. Oh, it was a tram too. The TR-27E. We might get a TR-27E checking in tonight. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, a lot of our listeners are tube radio operators as well, whether they might be on 11 meters or maybe some of the big iron on 40 and 75. Getting on the air everywhere. Let's try SWL 98. And I did not hear Tracy last night. I'll get Tracy checking. He should be in there somewhere. Charlie Alpha Tango sprayed the coax. I don't know. He's very good about that. He does not do that kind of stuff, at least inside. Outside, he's got his places. But inside, he has been always really good about not needing to say, here I am, this is me, this is where I live. He's not having to do that, but he's like the one-man band, so maybe he doesn't feel that he has to do that. Okay, let's go up to, and we can check out, I want to check out the Echo link tonight. Oh, it's spinning. I got the spinning wheel of whatever. All right, we'll be checking out the Echo link, and see if there we go. Check out the Echo link and see if Tony is out there. KB6 GFD.
Good evening, Dennis. This is KD4BAO. Please check in SWL 100.
And you are sounding good on the Echo link, once I have all the controls set the right way, and I remembered to turn the transmitter off. Thanks for getting in. I don't know what I did differently, but you are there, sounding good. Hope all is well they're out at the ranch. Thanks for joining us tonight. Over. KB6GFD. All right, Tony's sounding good on Echo link. I suspect at some point I will be on the right frequency at the right time to get a contact with Tony in McClellanville, South Carolina. I did manage to hook up with King Duckford. He managed to snag me. I think we were on 40 meters, so I'd like to get some of the other stations as well confirmed. Worked all maybe that's a new kind of worked all SWLs. That would be pretty cool. Let's go over to the guy that got us started off as 00 SWL 102. And of course, John is still there from Arkansas. Let me get the button pressed here for you. Going over to SWL 103. Shortwave listener 109. All right, 109, checking in. If you can hear me, I've got you on the list. Mr. Crawdad, sounding good from the hill. All right, the AM voice of Aubrey. Also does a pretty good sideband voice as well. Let's go to SWL 110. SWL 111. I'm checking. I think Robert checked in on the old tube radio. I didn't hear him. I had the controls down on the crossband. I'm turning them back up again. Hopefully I didn't miss you, Robert, but I will get you checked in from Reedleytown. Hey, there it is. Said he heard me from the lane on 168, but couldn't get through. Probably because I'm quick keying and talking too much. SWL 111 checking in just minutes ago. All right. Well, probably couldn't make it in between all my quick keys. If you're still hearing me, Robert, you are checked in. SWL 113. Shortwave listener 114.
114, checking in.
All right, there's a station that I never have trouble hearing. Wayne, you are checked in. Thanks for listening.
Thank you. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there.
And indeed, let's go over to SWL 128. And John may be in late tonight. I will get Fairfax, Virginia with a proxy check-in. Let's go to SWL 131. Mr. Root. How about SWL 133, Dave, there in Northwest Fresno? All right, sounding good from Northwest Fresno, and maybe you can hear me tonight too, just like everybody else. Anyway, got you checked in. Thanks for listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Over to, let's see, SWL 135, Mr. Green Arrow.
SWL 135, here in the land of explosions. I don't know what's going on out there tonight, but things are going boom. I am checking in.
Okay, I was hearing explosions about 2 weeks ago, and I thought, they're starting early with the 4th of July thing, but I think the city was pretty adamant about cracking down on the explosion, so maybe if you do enough, they find you and fine you, which is not a good thing. Or maybe it is a good thing. I don't know. Anyway, you are sounding good, and we hope for no explosions, at least before you get the radios checked in. SWL 137. Shortwave listener 135, Tony, up there in Course Gold, checked in earlier. He's the guy that runs the Early Risers Net. I think he said he's also doing Mondays and Fridays. Maybe I'll try. I'm having trouble getting Fridays turned into just a wild day. There's an early morning net and a late net, and I haven't been making either of them. Okay, I always have trouble finding Neil. I know he is there. He checked in earlier, so I will see if I can find his item of interest. There's Sabotage, the UDX 666, saying good evening and waving from the left coast of Canada. Oh, Superloop, I missed you, Greg, saying good evening, guys and gals. S9 radio listening in. It looks like the internet is up and running, at least for a little bit. Philip, 79, let me get you checked in. I guess I haven't been looking at the right screen here, so 79 is checked in, if it will ever click in. There we go. All right, we'll keep scrolling up. I'm finding good stuff here. as we run through the items of interest. So Philip's in, Greg is listening in tonight. What I was doing, there it is. At 147 Kakalaki, the weather is hot. Conditions in and out, but good at times on 39 lower sideband. Had a short E-skip from West Carolina and Virginia, very rare. And happy Father's Day to all. Thanks you, Neil. Let's go a little closer to home, SWL 188.
Good evening time, Dennis. Good evening time to all SWLs. Happy Father's Day weekend. 188 Snow Beast checking in.
Checking in and checked in, sounding good. Thanks for joining the Old Tube Radio Network tonight.
10-4, evening time.
If I didn't say hello to Popcorn 913, I will do it now. There is popcorn, but I have found that I need to not do popcorn during the net. I think the tea is okay, so they're saving me a bag of popcorn, which I will get to. Let's go up to Course Gold. Am I making the trip through the noise? SWL 195. All right, thanks for the good signal report. Father's Day coming up tomorrow, and an X in the square. Thanks, Jim. And let's head over to Shockwave, SWL 226. And anybody I missed or anybody wants to jump in, OTR listening. All right, I'm going to do the thing I need to do to set up for the tube radios. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Your radios coming up on the Old Tube Radio Network. Don't go away. We'll be back in moments on the Old Tube Radio Network. All right, I think I finally made it back here. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network.
You may not find us on your TV because in case you did not know, we're being brought to you by
OTR.
Brought to you by
27.085 megahertz.
Brought to you by RADI.
The Old Tube Radio Network.
The Old Tube Radio Network, as Tony reminds us. Heavy metal time, yeah, the real radios that glow in the dark. Heavy metal is not quite a boat anchor, but we will take anything that will check in tonight. Maybe have some glow in the dark radio and some tubes. I am trying to adjust this kind of dark and gloomy camera that's happening here tonight. Charlie Alpha Tango has joined us for a little bit. Say hi, buddy. Yeah, he is not feeling too good, but he wanted to come up and say hi, so we'll let him do that. Maybe he needs a bit of the Old Tube Radio tea. Hey, buddy. All right. So, without further ado, let me find you see saying, it's pointing to the pocket protector. Thanks, Charlie. Tonight, our sponsor is CBS Tubes, Ken L's Radio Supply Company, 428 Central Avenue, Fort Dodge, Iowa. Let me see. Do we have the camera? Which one is the camera? There it is. There's what's going in the pocket CBS radio, going in the pocket protector tonight on your Old Tube Radio Network. Okay, Net Control's going to stop talking, and we are listening for those glow-in-the-dark radios.
135, 135.
All right, 135, I hear you. No, I've got too much stuff here, so let me put that over there. And I need to bring in the list. I just don't want to have a disaster. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, all right. I say, don't tell me I don't have an Old Tube Radio list. I haven't even signed in yet. I have to put my name and the date of the Old Tube Radio, which is June 18th, 2022, and radio number 1. The time is 9:16. Ooh, getting a late start here. Thanks to me. Take a transmission. Tell us what's going on. I think I know the manufacturer, but I don't know the model. Over.
Okay, as you may have guessed, this radio comes from Laconia, New Hampshire, and the Browning Laboratories. This is the Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Let's see, there are 20 tubes in both of these things, and all 23 channels transmit, and the sky's the limit pretty much on the receive. I see it, if I flip the right switch, I can actually go well above channel 40 on the receive, but not on the transmitter. And I'll switch to a shorter ping, so it's not so terribly annoying. Back to you.
All right, well, it is definitely not terribly annoying. Any radio that glows in the dark cannot be classified as terribly annoying on the Old Tube Radio Network. Let me adjust the microphone here, and the windscreen's coming off. We don't have wind coming through. I think we actually have the picture of that radio, which we feature a lot when a Browning Mark III checks in, but this is the picture we use, and now we're finally hearing the radio. It says that it's the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III advertisement. It is not. Somehow it got mislabeled. This would be the Green Arrow radio with the Golden Eagle microphonium. There you go. Take a transmission.
It's a nice short ping there. Actually, if you've got my picture, it does show the Golden Eagle D104, which I am not using right now. I'm using the original Browning Banana microphone. I think it's made by Electro Voice. It's got the little Browning BL logo on the face. You've seen them before. Standard 1H non-amplified Browning Banana type microphone. Back to you.
Yeah, it's good. I was just trying to adjust the incoming audio for the stream to make the sound levels adequate. It sounds good. The short ping is nice. So where's the adjustment on that? I'm looking on the radio itself. I don't see. Is there a switch on the front for that? Is that something on the back? That's not a standard factory feature, right? That would be something that was added.
Correct. Yeah, these things did not come with ping adjusters. No, there's a switch in the back, and I can adjust between long ping and short ping, depending on just how annoying I want to be when I'm on this thing. Yeah, for conversations, the short ping is much more desirable. That long ping does get on your nerves after about the first 5 or 6 key-ups. Also, there is a microphone gain adjustment on my transmitter, which is not standard either. But I'm glad to see that you still got the picture of mine up there. Oh, wow. I think I'm still like right on frequency, according to my freaky counter. Sorry, I had to be quiet there for just a second or the numbers go wacko. But this does have the adjustable transmit frequency, so I can adjust it to be smack on if so desired.
Yeah, and as we found out the Mark IV, they took that away. I bet that was an FCC thing. Said, no, we see what you're doing here. You're moving the transmitter plus or minus 700, which is what we say you can be on the frequency, on the crystal frequency tolerance, and they're not, they're adjusting the crystal somehow, but I think the FCC nicked that on the 4, so that's a cool feature, and super duper helpful on sideband, when you need to get both stations on the same frequency for that third party listening in. Getting some good comments from the SWLs watching and listening in on the audio, and I can't blame them because it is definitely sounding good. And take another transmission. I will confirm your freaky counter item of interest probably.
I went back to the long ping just in case anybody wanted to hear it. Yeah, you are 40 over. Incidentally, very nice signal yourself here into the CB Cabana, where we're out here with the explosions. Yeah, I don't know if people are firing howitzers out here or what's going on, but somebody's celebrating something a little early. Okay, do you have me dialed in there yet, Mr. Dennis? Back to you.
Yeah, I got you dialed in. We went to the VFO, and I'm probably I have to go down about 80 hertz, just off of 085 direct to get the 0 beat to be gone completely. So yeah, you're technically right where you should be. Over.
Yeah, close enough for government work, eh? That's good. And I'm glad that the banana mic is sounding okay. I could hook up the Golden Eagle mic, but I didn't hear much skip or noise happening over here, so I thought I'd go a little mellow this time. This is the last in my series of Brownings. First with the R27 S23, and then the R68 T68, and now the Mark III. I thought I'd end on a mellow note, if possible, but if Hawaii started blasting in there, I wanted to be ready, so I do have the other microphone ready to go. But it looks like that wasn't necessary. Back to you.
Not necessary, certainly not overdone on the audio. Good flavor all the way around. The skip is actually still in there. It's down a little bit from where it was. I'm sure the stations that are up on the hill are probably having trouble hearing us with the skip, but for here on the flatlands, sounding good, getting us started off. Radio number 1, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB, the premier flagship of Browning Laboratories from 1972, when they upgraded the Mark II and all the pieces into the Mark III. and flying high until 1976 when they had to comply with the FCC and get rid of the 23-channel radios and do something with 40 channels. Otherwise, I'm sure they would still... They might still be making them today if it was around. I don't know what they would cost. Obviously not the $750 that they were back in the day. Actually, I think they at least cost that now if you get one on eBay. Back to you for transmission. Thanks for joining us on your old Tube Radio Network.
Yeah, what year were these made? Was it 76 or 77, 78, somewhere around there? When were they making these?
72 was the switchover from the Mark II, and they went up to 76. And after 1976, whatever that cutoff date was, you were not allowed to manufacture a 23-channel radio when they went to 40 channels. They were... in fact, you had to have a fire sale on them. So probably the last a newer late model Mark III would probably have some type of a 1976 serial number on it somehow, if you could figure out how to know what that, to read it.
Yeah, I would have no idea. Yeah, it's pretty cool that it does sideband. It's kind of disappointing that I can't do sideband on the upper, sideband channels where you're supposed to do that. But it's still pretty cool, and it's an awful lot of fun. Thanks for letting me check it in, and are we doing this next week? If so, I'll see you then.
All right, making some adjustments on the receiver. We have plans to do this next week, so likewise, we will see you then. Thanks for stopping by on your old Tube Radio Network. Real Radio is Glowing in the Dark. OTR 27085, streaming at oldtuberadio.net. There's a YouTube video that happens somehow. We've been doing this thanks to, like you just heard, our old Tube Radio operators and our shortwave listeners who join us each week since somewhere in the mid-1980s. Back in about 20 seconds, as the jingle singers tell you what is happening on your old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you. And
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
We are listening for radio number 2. Oh, and Chrissy has a question. Chrissy, I will, if Cliff comes back on the radio, I will ask, and I forgot to do that, what element. If he knows, he was running in the microphonium. 135, Cliff, there's a question for you when you come back.
Yes.
All right, one of our shortwave listeners, in fact, it's Chrissy, as a matter of fact, is wondering, and I think some other people as well, wondering what element is in the microphonium. They like the sound.
These original banana-type microphones, I'm pretty sure, are crystal elements. But if you want to make absolutely sure, get a hold of Harvey. I know he knows what's in these things. I'm pretty sure he told me they were crystal elements.
Wow, okay. I would have guessed dynamic, ceramic, because usually a crystal microphone is really shrill on a Browning. There's like no low frequencies at all. And you've got the standard, whatever it is, a 200 roll-off, but it doesn't sound like it's rolling off any more than that. All right, well, we will see. Anyway, it works well for your voice, and it plays well on the item of interest.
Oh, and I also forgot to mention this one has the opposite colors on the air light on the receiver. I keep forgetting. I understand most of them are like a red background with black letters. Mine has a black background with red letters. So there's one for the for the questioners too.
I see that. We'll put it back up. I'm going to say that was a factory thing. There would be no reason to go in there and change that. And that might be, for someone that knows, that might be one of the things saying, oh, yeah, they changed it the last year because they ran out of the other one, or that was the way they started on the early models. That would be interesting to find out. Oh, one other thing, and I will ask this question. On the, what is that, the transmitter, there is a knob that says SWR. And, of course, it's a little bit odd. So I'm going to say that is some addition that just happened to be on your radio, but typically would not be there. But I thought they had an SWR knob on that already. This is interesting.
And they do. There is a regular on the transmitter. The second knob in from the right is the SWR knob. The guy, I believe it was Loner Bill, had this before me. This is his Mark III, or it was. Or he or somebody started to do a lot of modifications on the radio, which they never finished, and Harvey undid them. So it's back to normal operation. Now that next to the microphone plug on the far lower left of the transmitter is what you're talking about. That used to say SWR. I've since replaced that with MIC for Mike, because Harvey turned that into a mic gain knob. So that everything's been put back where it should be.
Okay, we went to see close up and see the SWR where it should be, and then the SWR, this is an older picture, so it's got the little Dymo label that says SWR, but it's near the microphone input, so it makes sense to have a mic gain on it. So that's a nice feature. I don't know why they didn't have that in the first place on the Browning. Would probably be helpful. All right, doing good, sounding good, thank you. I'm going to say hello to SWL52. Aaron will get you checked in, and he says he's live. 52 says he's live from Hawaii. There he goes, Mr. Charlie Alpha Tango. See you later, guy. So I wish you had a radio there. You would probably hear us. We're hearing Hawaii right now. And Aaron checking in from Hawaii. Thank you for the redo there. Wrong picture. Thank you for the redo, Cliff. And OTR is listening for radio number 2. Yeah, Sean, hang in there. We know what's happening is we're getting the gray line from the Pacific now, so that may come up a little bit, but hopefully you'll be able to jump in on the Mark IV. And Aaron, you'll have to, you'll have to go to Australia next, because that's who we usually hear in the late evenings here. Hawaii and Australia. The Old Tube Radio Network listening for Radio 2. Oh, you'll have to go back to New Zealand. All right. Well, we must have not been on the air when you were there, but sounding good from Hawaii, and you'll hear the mini graphs in our receiver in the background here. Yeah, and I agree, Jim, about the classic sound from the stations back in the early day, the Browning ping. And you could tailor it without extending it, with the use of the squelch, the use of the microphone, whether it picks up high frequencies or low frequencies. There was a channel. I grew up in Southern California. I think it was Channel 1, and a lot of people ran Brownings, and a lot of them have figured out with whatever microphone, and it was this really sweet ding, almost like you were hitting a china dish. And a lot of stations had that set up, and I'm sure they probably had to have a microphone just set on a table, and you didn't move the microphone, and you kept the squelch at a certain setting, and you kept the volume at a certain setting, and it had this really nice ding, like China. And it was Channel 1. It's like half the stations that had Brownings had it set up like that. So, yeah, there was a way, as you said, to orchestrate the way you wanted to sound with that. Pretty cool.
37.
37. It is break time for you, but radio time for us. Take a transmission. Over.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Dennis, I would like to check in my general radio telephone, the Super MC11A, 24-channel radio here with the original handheld stock microphone, non-amplified, nothing, just what comes out, comes out. Over.
What is it, Doris Day? Que sera, sera, or, well, with something like that, putting up the picture, courtesy of Mr. Green Arrow. You should be on the green channel 11. Over.
Yes, it is. Well, the background is green, the lettering's black, but that's close enough.
Okay, the lettering's black, at least in this one, showing kind of a green background, a little bit of skip coming through. You are radio number 2, and as always, one of our fan favorites. Take a transmission.
It was one of my favorites, too, so I have to agree with them on some things. They're over.
Running the stock on the station. There's a way to plug that octal pin in the back and strap it out for business band RF output, but it really it hurts the audio a little bit. This is why it sounds so good. I'm sure it's got some classic, and Greg, S9 Radio talks about this extensively, and it's probably got some real classic 12AX7 tubes and ECLA 800. Somebody handpicked the tubes in that, and that's what helps the audio. Sounding good. Take another transmission. Thanks for Radio 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, you strap it on the back there, put that tube or whatever it is back behind back there, that plug. Plug it in there, but it's got a tube plug type thing there. Plug that in, gives you more power, but I think it cuts down the audio if I'm not mistaken. Am I right?
Yeah, that has such good modulation and forward movement. What it does is it puts it kind of maxed out. It maxes the carrier, so there's not as much headroom, and it definitely shows in the audio.
Yeah, for it. All right, Dennis, I'm right in the middle of a movie. I just had to come in here and jump in here and do my thing.
All right, we're glad you did. That's why we are here on Saturday nights, so that our tube radio operators can do their thing, and we're glad you did for radio number 2. Also doing his thing, SWL78 from very cool Will DeMar, from a almost cool Fresno here, where it's probably just above 70 degrees in the early evening in mid-June, which typically is not the case. So we're having the beach weather. We're actually having the weather that you're supposed to be having there. Richard, we got you, let me go to the right logo here. We got you checked in.
I just looked at my dial here and it says 70 degrees on my watch.
All right, sounding good. And neutral observation says he's got the Super MC11A, but it needs a wee bit of work. Too bad you weren't local here. You might be able to bring it in to somebody to do a little peeking and tweaking. But at least there, you can hear what the potential for the sound would be. And again, I'm not sure if part of that is with some classic tubes, but we have a few that check in, and they all sound really good. I'm thinking Chris's is probably the best up there. And did someone say Fresno? Well, I'm not sure, but we'll find out. The Old Tube Radio Network, waiting radio number 3. The Jingle Singers have their number 3 hit ready to go. We'll be back in just a bit.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, the friendliest station for you by far is known to all as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
You're listening for radio number 3. And who is listening? Gabriel, Charlie X-Ray 32 SWL, Uruguay, checking in. And says a miracle might happen. Writing in, see if we can talk Skip directly. You know, during the day, I wouldn't doubt that. When we get cycle 25, during the day, at nighttime, that's going to be a hop. I don't even know where I would hear it. I'd probably have to go to 20 meters. You have to go up the band or down. Is it down the band, down on frequency and up the band to 20 meters? But glad you can join us via the link. The Old Tube Radio Network, something we've been doing here for well over 35 years, where the tube radio operators get a chance to display their radios. And we're glad they do. We're listening for radio number 3.
60.
And there is one right now. Let's log you in at 9:40. That's Pacific Daylight Time. UTC, I think it's 5:40 on the Universal Time Clock. I'm logging you in. Take a transmission. Tell us what you've got. Over.
Thank you much, Dennis. I'd like to check in my Robin T123B. I've got a heck of a static level over here. I've had it since the beginning of the program. I hope you're hearing me okay. This is an 11 tubes, 23 channels with a little kit in it, I guess you would call it. A few extra channels. In fact, about 10 more. Yeah, we're coming at you with D104 power mic, and it seems like all the lights are blinking.
Yeah, what was it? You're going to drive me to drinking with a hot rod Lincoln. Or you're going to drive me to drinking with the Robin lights blinking. All right, I tried to find the greenest picture radio I could have. Fans of Robins, fans of green radios, listening intently to their radios or Universal Media NetWeb. Sounding good. You've got it perfect for some good rag chew audio. I know that thing will scream on some DX. It'll even do, let's see, the PA. You could put the big speaker out the front door and and sing to the neighbors. But we're glad you're here on Channel 11. Over.
Thank you much, Dennis. Yeah, like I say, the static level is so high, it's ridiculous. I don't know. Maybe someone's got my number and figured out how to smash me. But anyway, on this Robin 123B there, doggone it, with all the pretty features, pretty green radio, and a modulation light that seems to have gotten brighter. I don't know what caused that, but anyway, the pretty blue light is on for the ticks, and the other lights, they're on standby. I adjusted my squelch. I pushed it in there, and obviously made you sound a little better, and that's about it. Doggone it, like I said once before, I think it's 11 tubes, 23 channels, and with a few switches here and there, you can get an extra 10 channels out of it.
Little modification. Sounds like it was done well enough not to deface it too much. Don't show it on the picture we're having here, but that with the synthesized crystals, I'm pulling it up to the channels. In this radio, 1972 to 1976, the extra frequencies were in use, but they weren't official from the FCC. And then, of course, as one of our SWLs mentioned, and we mentioned here, it was illegal to sell the 23-channel radios, and they came out with Panasonic chassis number 2 modification to do the 40 channel, and you would have the Robin T240D, the yellow bird. Chrissy says, Joe, you are my hero. Green machine and sounding great. A couple of thumbs up on the D104 audio as well. You are correct, sir. 11 tubes. The 12AX7 on the modulator, and I think it's a 6BQ5 on the power output. Looks like oldtuberadio.com has an operator manual and a schematic for that radio. Give us another transmission, Radio 3, sounding good. Glad you are warming it up. And I'm sure that radio, as you've told us before, definitely warms up. So be careful when you put those fingers.
Yeah, 10-4. And I like the fact that it has instant on, so it gives me a chance to warm other radios up. And then automatically I can jump to it and just start broadcasting. Just turn it on. And she's ready to go. She's been warming up for about a half hour, but in off position, and like I say, instant warm. I love it. Okay, Dennis, thank you. And we'll get something else warmed up.
All right, we'll be here. The Old Tube Radio Network, Real Radio's Glowing in the Dark. 8 to 10. Years ago, we used to go from 8 to 11 when the net controllers were all 30 years old instead of 60-something. So, it's fun. We've had a great time. Someone keeps telling me when we check in our millionth tube, there's going to be balloons falling down on the head of whoever's the net control at that time. KC9KUH, hello radio. Yeah, long time no here. Glad you are jumping into the old tube side of the radio tonight. Let's see. I wanted to say hello to just jumping in San Bernardino up in the balcony listening in. Don't have the short skip tonight. We might be hearing you guys on 11 meters. OTR standing by, and we're listening for radio number 4. And also jumping in, signing a few autographs on the way in. Big Rich 6520 saying hello to the Old Tube Radio Network. Thanks for joining us on a very late, or is it early Sunday? I don't know where it is for you, or late on Saturday. It is a beautiful day, a beautiful evening here in the Central Valley, so a lot of stations, a lot of operators are out enjoying the weather. We've had check-ins from the National Park of Sequoia up on Morrow, at the top of Morrow Rock. An early check-in before the program, Skip Land from Idaho, check-in on the Echolink from South Carolina, and all is good. We're waiting for your radio check-ins as well. Hey, a nice time to jump in. It is quiet, and we are in definite need of another radio, and I think we found one, and we talked about it from 1976 when Browning Laboratories were not allowed by the FCC to continue producing the Mark III. They come up with the radio we are about to hear. Take a transmission. Yeah, I honestly don't know what I did, and I'm sort of beginning to think that I may have an antenna issue, and the wind has somehow fixed the antenna. I'm looking at the match here. Everything looks good. So I don't know. Maybe I stumbled onto something. I'm not going to touch anything. So when I sound good, that's that's a miracle. The stations coming in always sound good. I've grabbed a picture of the Mark IV. We talked about the fact that it doesn't have the mobile or the agile transmit adjustment, probably courtesy of the FCC, but it still has all the great transmitter and receiver items as well. Back to you. Yeah, indeed. So let's see. Let me see if I can do a close-up on this. Did they still keep on the transmitter? Because it looks like it has more knobs. Did they? Can you still set the SWR? Check your SWR from the transmitter. And does the transmitter have a mic gain adjustment on the Mark IV? Yeah, that's something they didn't do on the Mark III. It's just the last radio we checked in had a modification added in with a mic gain control. And I thought, well, maybe they added one on the Mark IV, but they never had a mic gain as far as I know. They had plate modulation, and I think they knew that if you were running the dynamic mic, the crystal mic, whatever, that you would sound good, and you probably didn't need to have an amplified microphone. And if you did, you typically either had to turn it way down or go inside the radio and adjust the gain down. But it sounds good. A rare radio. For all the times I've been on OTR, the Mark IV is, I think it's the rarest one. It's the one we get the least check-in. So I'm assuming they probably didn't sell that many, or something went on, but we don't have a lot of Mark IVs check-in. So I'm glad you brought yours by. Over. Wow. All right. Well, that's the thing. You turn it over and check to make sure that it's not doing some leaking. It's got that fuzzies, the white fuzzies, which always seems to be the case on the +2, the mobile +2 microphone with that funky little 7-volt microphone that goes toes up. Anyway, still working. Battery is good. Oh, you know what? And next transmission, I'm going to check your frequency. I'll give you a 0 beat on the transmitter. So take another transmission over. All right, Sean, thanks for jumping in. I'm glad we have, for our Mark IV fans, and there are many, that we have a representative station. Clicked over to sideband 27085. You are right there. No heterodyne at all. So that radio is spot on. Not sure if they were still, I think they were still all crystal controlled. I could be wrong. We'll have to ask Harvey if he remembers on the Mark IV if they went to synthesized or a PLL chip or something. But you were dead on frequency, right on frequency. Radio number 4, the Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV, works out pretty good, and we'll mark that in at, what time did we start? 9:48. Thanks for stopping by OTR. And Sean's Sangertown. That's a good hop on the ground wave. That is definitely not line of sight. Still kind of waiting for some sporadic E-skip to come in. It's not there. At least I can't hear it. But it's coming in. The jingle singers, they're not skipping. They're not sporadic, but they'll sing for you anyway. Back in a bit.
You're listening in the latest style at
27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio.
In wonderful
Fresno, California.
We are listening for Radio 5, the Old Tube Radio Network.
Well, how about this one?
Hey, I got you Harvey, and I think that was 60. So, Harvey, step up into the air chair, and Joe, we will catch you after Harvey. I think you're good. I think I know the radio. That one, the first time it keys up, it doesn't want to talk, and then it talks beautifully. So we'll be back with you in a moment. And Harvey, you're our number 5 on my list. Take a transmission over.
Okay. This is the Halicrafter CB3 with the modulator on, and there it is with the modulator off. Can you hear it with the modulator off?
I can hear it with the modulator off. It definitely doesn't go full quieting. It has some nice audio either way. So if you want to do some demos with it off, you can, but obviously with it on works good. Not squealing, no hum. So it plays well either way. And Halicrafters, and I think you said it's a CB3, no alpha, correct?
CB3. Modulator back on, yes. CB3. Should be on frequency. Everything works on this. I believe it has channels 1, 5, 9, 7, and 11, 12, 15, and 18. Transmit and receive. And it's got the stock Halicrafter hand mic with the little meatball logo right in the center of the microphone. And I'm selling this thing because it was kind of, we'll say an extra radio. I was, let's say, gifted 3 radios, and 2 of them are gone, and this is the 3rd one. So I'd like it to be gone if I have a little more room. This radio originally was mine, and then when Bill at Red Monkeys in town here at the time had one of his little swap meet breaks, he raffled off some radios, and I contributed this one to the raffle, and it was won by Dave, number 1, whatever his number is. Okay. In town, and then I picked this one up from Dave. So technically I got it back, and I'd like to sell it again, or sell it this time. Anyway, it does about, let's see here, change the meter. About 2 watts swinging at 5, and then with the modulator on, obviously a little bit more. This works really well with the modulator. Anyway, it's been on for about 4 hours, and frequency seems to be about right on.
Yeah, we'll check the frequency. I got a full shot of the S-meter. Come back quickly and give us the radio stock, a couple of words, and then the radio with the modulator. You can hear a big difference. It just takes you out of the noise, but the audio is good either way. So back to you. I've got the S-meter full screen so people can see the difference and hear the difference of what's going on. Over.
Break. DR.
This is the modulator off, and I'm trying to say the properness from the microphone. And by the way, this has the 2-pin modulator on, 2-pin Browning plug on it. That's the way they came. However, most of them have the 2-pin plug turned 180 degrees around. So instead of being the 2 pins toward the bottom, it's 2 pins toward the top. However, the mic is wired identical to Browning. So whoever gets this, if they happen to have a Browning with the 2-pin plug, and they have an amplified or unamplified microphone, they can plug it into this thing, and it would work just fine. In fact, I have an amplified D104 I could plug into this.
Well, I think from earlier, I bet if you went amplified, you would have to turn it way down. You start getting the flat topping. It's perfectly clean. There is no flat topping at all. The audio quality sounds really good. It's very natural. It's not super bassy or whatever. It sounds just like you when we're talking FM simplex. I found a different shot here for the video on it's not in monochrome. Oh, it kind of is. On the CB38, it also shows the microphonium, which I guess is like a Turner or something, just the ceramic with the lowercase h for Helicrafters. I've got that same H on my CB or my FM 1000 Helicrafters radio, and I forgot to check your frequency and see how close it is on my end. So it's good. You have the audio just perfect. I'm not sure if you're doing anything special to keep it that way. Helicrafters will, those models will flat top if you put too much audio into them. I've got a CB3A, and I ran a tone through it, and boy, you get to like 98% modulation, and that's all it wants. It just starts doing wacky things. Sounding good. Come back, we'll check the frequency, and then you can reiterate again that radio is for sale. Looks like it's peaked and tweaked and ready to go. Back to you.
Right, okay. Amplified D104. Turned up about a quarter, 1/4, and I'm talking about a foot away from it.
Oops, sorry about that. I'm messing up here. I had you on sideband. Yeah, about 300 cycles low, and it actually moves. If we had a scope, you can actually hear the frequency move a little bit. I think I have a breaking station. Let me that wants to check in. Let me check. I think that is, and I'm looking on my list here because you may need to get in and out. Is that 131?
Yes, it is.
All right, we'll get you checked in so you can move about, go wherever you want, but you're sounding good. And we are checking in the Helicrafters CB3, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dennis.
All right, Mr. Rude. Thank you, John, SWL 131. All right, Harvey, back to you, but you're sounding good, about 300 cycles low on my end, and you can hear a little bit. And you might see that on your meter, waving frequency when you chat there.
Yeah, my meter went from 047 up to 049. I decided, since this works so well, I wasn't going to fool with it to fix that. I figured just a 0.2 or whatever, I'm not going to worry. Anyway, the amplified D104, foot away, turned up 1/4. So, as you can see, you can put this type of mic on there if you want. Okay, I'm going to turn it back to you. Someone is waiting. I have 2 more radios. And, it's about 10, so gotta hurry up.
All right, yeah, there's a little bit of a hum probably induced by the modulator that's picked up. Peaks will flat top a little bit. Nice and clean, though. The stock microphonium doing a good job on the CB3A. Getting some thumbs up from our SWLs from near and far out. Some of them say they'd like to hear a little bit more boom boom in the microphonium, but for what it is, it's doing quite well. And I'm going to put up another shot here. Let's see if I've got that one. And, oh, yeah, before you go, there's a snap. There's a little, it looks like the case, the top of the case, think lunchbox. Is it easy to get in that thing and turn the screwdriver? It looks like you just flip a little latch and the thing opens right up, over.
That is correct. 2 latches, one on each side, flip them, and then the top just opens up. Change tubes, hardly, I hope, because I've gone through the tube, and crystals. So there you are. And that should about do it. Oh, $60 for the radio and the stock Hallicrafters hand mic with the meatball. I would say it's about a 7 out of a 10. There are some scratches on the front and sides, not many, but something that's usually missing is the hand mic. And if you have the hand mic, what's usually missing is the logo, and also on the front where the round painted on H is, where it says the Hallicrafters Company, right above it with the painted H. To the left is on its side a blue triangle, and to the right on its side a red triangle, both pointing to the H. Usually those are gone. This one has them. So anyway, there you go. It's wired for AC. It's got, obviously, and it's got a 3-conductor cord, so you won't shock yourself. Anyway, $60 for the radio. So somebody wants it. If not, it'll just sit here for a while. Okay, I'll turn it back to you and fire up another one.
All right, yeah, good. And comes with the stock microphone. I just want to let people know, if you're looking at the video or any of the pictures, that is not the radio on which he's talking. It's a reasonable facsimile thereof, but he did a good word's eye description. Also, the radio has the ability, like the 3A, between on either side of the channel selector, there's the rectangular square that actually pops out, and you can, if you can find them, you can put in the receive VFO and an S meter that plug in. Take the top off and plug in the chassis. So it's like buying the Ford Falcon without the radio and the heater. But if you can find them, you can put them in. Sounds good. Got the price, and let's see, if someone needs to get a hold of you, how would they do that?
I don't know. Find somebody who's got my phone number and just call me. You've got it. They contact you through OTR or whatever. I'll give them my phone number. That's fine. Oh, this is the 3. The 3 does not have the optional panels to put the meter and VFO in. Now, the Ultimate Hallicrafters book, or thing by Radios by Hallicrafters by Chuck, I guess Dacus or Dachis, I don't know how you pronounce his name. In there, all the CBs are listed amongst other radios and such by Hallicrafters, and it actually says in the 3 listing, it has the spot for the meter and the VFO. That is incorrect. The 3A has those, but there are pictures in the book, and you can easily see the 3 does not have that option, and the 3A does. So this is the one without that option. Anyway, there you go. Somebody's got my phone number, and just call me basically any time, because I don't care. Just call me anytime, or call me Harvey. Alrighty, back to you.
All right, back to me in the studio. So $60. If you're not local, plus shipping. Yeah, I've got the right picture up now. The one I was showing was the CB3A. The CB3, as you said, does not have the panels. It says little phone in lowercase mellifluous script there, like your grandmother's handwriting right next to the channel selector, and there's the H. And okay, there are the two arrows that which you're talking about. This is just a really poor, I just have a poor monochrome picture. It looks like it's out of a magazine. But that's what I've got. So, good deal. Sounds good. Of course, we're listening to it. You are running with the modulator on, but with it off, the audio is still good. You got to be careful not to overdrive the microphonium. It gets a little bit flat topping, but that's what the Halocrafters do. So be careful with that. But as you can see, if you mellifluously modulate the little phone, it does well on the Halocrafters item of interest. All right, Harvey, thank you. We'll put it down as a Radio 5, and I see some interest in it already, so we'll see if we can get your information out to where it needs to go. And you can tell it was designed by engineers with those little snaps on the side of the case to make sure you could open the thing up and change your crystals and do whatever you needed to do. A good deal.
You got it. And I just got a text from Levon asking me how much. So apparently if he's listening to the show, he'll know now. And he says he'd like to have it. So I guess. Anyway, I have to talk to Levon about moving from where he lives a little bit closer. So the radio doesn't have to go so far if he's going to do this. All righty. I'll let you go. You got somebody waiting, plus I got to hook up another one.
All right, sounds good. The Old Tube Radio Network. Gosh, it's 10 after, but we're going a little extra time. We started late, a little bit of skip. Get the radios in that want to check in. They're lined up. Thank you. Harvey OTR is listening. And that's right. We did have somebody in the queue, SWL60. We'll put you in here a little bit after 10 o'clock. Take a transmission, Joe. Over.
Thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it, I get on this mic so fast that I'm going to have to give me one of them devices they use for the piano to keep the beat. Every second beat, I guess I'll key up the mic. Anyway, Dennis, I'd like to check in my Messenger. Johnson, Messenger, Blackface 2, with a little help, of course, and on a Lollipop D104.
All right, yeah, you might have to key down, but key up, but don't get down for about 2 seconds on that first transmission. I think that's how you say it in the land of CB radio. We'll give a shot. Yeah, we got the Messenger TWO, the front view, tunable receive for all 23, I believe, and a 10-channel on the transmit. So. There you go. Back to you for transmission.
Well, thank you much, Dennis. Very, very enjoyable radio to operate. Love the features on the front. It just seems like you're working with something. Can't figure it out. With the two eyes and the center light on, and of course you have your volume. And your squelch, your volume turns the radio on, and the squelch turns it on, and of course the volume works the audio. I've also got hooked up in line with it. I guess in a sense it might be helping it. I'm not sure. I'm not on that end. I can't tell you. It is a WASI JB12, and I hope it's doing it some justice.
It is. Another radio like the Halocrafters, Halocrafters making televisions and receivers and amateur radio transmitters. E.F. Johnson coming out of making 85-pound transmit radios and then jumping into the Class D citizen radio service where they have to cut them down to 15-pound smaller transformers and 5-watt DC input. know what they were doing. That's why they sound good. They're built like a tank. The radios from the early 1960s playing well into the 21st century. You cannot go wrong with these USA manufacturers, and we prove it here every week on the Old Tube Radio Network when our tube radio operators come in and sound like it's back to 1965 yet again. Take a transmission.
Oh boy, I say, doggone it could be. It could be. It's a very sturdy looking radio, and it seems to handle itself pretty well. And it is a boat anchor. It's made the long ways compared to the 223. This one is made the long ways, and the 223 made side to side, left to right. But anyway, I appreciate you letting me check this in. I think you said earlier there, 10 tubes, 10 channels, or maybe I'm getting mixed up here. But I'm going to say 10 channels anyway for a fact. And it does take a little while to warm up. It's no joke, and it gets good and hot. But when it's ready, she's dead on 11. Boy, you're good to talk.
All right, and I agree with some of our listeners. GSW Johnson definitely had the audio down, and that was one of the early radios that people liked to modify a little bit. I think you could strap the output. They might have had some 10-meter extra flavor, or replacing a tube. I know one guy that ran controlled carrier. He ran a Browning receiver and liked the transmitter better on the Johnson, and did this controlled carrier thing. Boy, did it sound good. You are right. 10 channels, 10 tubes. The original price back in the day, about $170. There were 2 models. I think the Viking Messenger had 3, but there was the AC model, 117 volts, and the DC model probably at 12 volts. I don't think they made a 6-volt version of that. If you've got a Sam's book number 5, it'll be on page 48, and it looks like at oldtuberadio.com there is a schematic as well. I want to make sure I wrote you in. Radio number 6, I did. It is sounding good, and thanks for bringing it by here on our Old Tube Radio tonight.
Appreciate it there, Dennis. Yeah, well, okay. We'll put this one to rest for now, and until next week there. Appreciate you letting me check this one in. We'll be waiting for, I guess Harvey's got another one there. I might be able to get another radio in.
Okay, well, that's what they don't pay me for, is to check in as many radios as possible before we sign out. Was there a breaking station for OTR listening? All right, I hear you there, but you're down in my noise level. Take a transmission. Okay, I think that is 40. I think that's Mike on the HT or something. I hear you somewhere. All right, I'm not sure where you're at, but I actually hear you a little bit better than I did before, probably because the band is quiet.
Dennis, did I make it in time?
Hang on. All right, I hear you're at one of the lookouts. So, yeah, there are some great lookout points on 180, where you look out right over the edge, and you're up at 6,000 or 5,000 feet. So I copied that you were on the lookout. I think you're on the walkie-talkie. Revisiting what we did at the beginning of the net here, Michael, SWL47, who was at the top, the very tippity top of Morrow Rock, with the HT 11 meter and the HT 2 meter, now on the highway, the Kings Highway, overlooking the Central Valley, and checking in. I hope you can hear me. Checking in on the lookout point. Take another transmission, and I'll see what I can pull out. Over.
Okay, let's try this one. Any better?
Yeah, I hear you. So take a transmission and explain what you've got. Over.
Okay. Well, I'm back at McGee Lookout, first and foremost. I'm about an hour away from Morro Rock. So it was absolutely freezing up there, first of all, and I have to apologize. It's a little unnerving when in a very small, confined space with a bunch of tourists, and you whip out a huge TRC 217 and a 4-foot antenna. It's almost like whipping out a big radio when you're in a crowded elevator. But it was just awesome. I could hear you it was perfect. You were 5'9" up there, all the way down the rock. I was listening to you, and it sounded great. And there is a backstory behind here, but I had an hour, not an hour, a mile and a half hike just to get to that dumb rock, and I can explain that story later. They had closed the road because of prescribed burns. But I just thought I'd pipe in here right now and let you know that for my whole trek down that rock and that entire mile and a half, basically from the bottom of the rock to the giant sequoia museum, I guess it is, you were just hitting it just perfect over there. I could listen to the whole show.
KB6GFD. All right, very good. We're talking to Mike, who is up in the Sierra National Forest, Sequoia Park. He's on the 2-meter link up right now and sounding pretty good. He checked in earlier. Some might have heard him on the walkie-talkie, but he was up at the top of Morro Rock and now at the lookout point. All right, well, good to know that we're making the trip. I did hear you. You can hear the replay. I don't know how well it's gonna sound on the audio replay, but I could hear you and tell what you were doing. So, good deal. Yeah, it's cool here. I mean, it's 20 degrees below where it should be. So I imagine up at Lodgepole, it's probably if it's 70, 65 here, it's probably 45 or less up in that area. So. Be careful, take care. Always enjoy the extra effort. One of my favorite places to be up there at Sierra Kings Canyon, on the lookout. So we'll do it again. Back to you for another transmission, then we'll let you go and be safe and sound. Thanks for jumping in. Over.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, you sound great in stereo here. I got the TRC 217 in my left ear and this one in the right. You sound great. Yeah, it's not warm out here. It's 38 degrees where I'm standing right now. I can't escape being cold. It's been really, really, really chilly. I think up on the rock, it was at that point in time it was about 50 degrees, 50. But it's 38 now, and I'm freezing my tail off. So I sure wish I had a nice warm vacuum tube radio to warm my hands on top of, but maybe next time. So 73, stay out of trouble, and for anyone that has never been up here, it's mind blowing to me that an hour and a half away from Fresno, maybe a little bit more than that, depending on where in the park you want to go. You've got the largest tree on the planet Earth, the largest and the second largest. The General Grant and the General Sherman trees, and the views up here are just nothing short of miraculous. So I highly recommend, if you haven't done it, you got to get up here. So thanks for listening. I hope I didn't take up too much time, and have a good evening to all. 73. This is KJ6 QB.
All right, very good. Thanks, Michael. Sounding good. And good audio transmission. Hope you can hear the replay. Hope to get up there soon. KB6GFD.
Hey, Dennis.
Go ahead, Harvey. Over.
Okay, on our local radios, were we hearing him or were we hearing him through yours?
All right. Originally, you were hearing him on the walkie-talkie. That was the first day. If you had the radios turned up, he got my attention on the walkie-talkie from the lookout. Also heard him from the walkie-talkie earlier in the net at the top of Morro Rock, he wasn't as loud, and then we went to the crossband where he's using his HT from the Rock, and as you just heard moments ago, on the crossband from the HT in the park. So the transmitted you just heard over the air was a conversation between me at the control room microphonium and Mike at coming over the crossband from his HT at the park. Over.
Okay, because I've got my 2 meters sitting right above the 11 meter, and I turned volume up, and it's identical. But your needle reading and his needle reading were identical, so I kind of was thinking when I'm hearing him on this 11 meter radio, it's actually coming through your transmission, not his actual transmission.
Yeah, if you're listening on the 11 meter radio, you hear my transmitter replaying his receive audio off the 2 meter. If you listen to the 2 meter, you will hear his actual transmission and when he's talking, and then my actual transmission when I'm talking. So it's pretty cool what a 7,000-foot antenna will do for 5 watts, right?
Oh, you got it. Alrighty. Okay, hey, I want to check this radio in. Is that all right?
Yes, it is. I am doing some counting and amounting here, and definitely want to get the radio checked in. So let me find the tube radio list. You will be radio number 7 at 10:25. Take a transmission over.
Okay. As number 7, I'm on the Super MC11, not the Canadian version, the 11A, but the Super MC11. And it's not the one you heard last week. This is another one.
Wow, you just got a lot of radios on that radio table. I can't remember. I think I have a shot for the Super MC11, or I don't. But to take a transmission, we'll get it marked in here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Super MC11. It's the one without the wheelchair, etc. logo, which is actually a GRT combined logo. It looks like a guy in a wheelchair holding a staff or something, but it's actually a GRT combination there. But this is the 11. And it's a funny situation here. According to Sam's photo fact, the 11 has a certain frequency crystal for all the channel turret tuner crystals, and certain frequency for the main crystal on the chassis. And then the 11A has a different setup. But this 11 has what the 11As have, which is what the 11 is supposed to have. But it's weird. According to Sam's, it's all wrong.
Yeah, interesting. Are you on the range boost with the 11, or is it just by itself?
This is just by itself. Yeah, MC11 with an unamplified D104, about a foot away. And now, this is with the modulator on, microphone just about at arm's length.
All right, just curious because it plays differently. The Helicopters was, down at S3, you put on the modulator, would go up to S5 or S6 and then modulate up from that. This one starts at S5, and when you put the modulator, it doesn't really affect the resting carrier, but it does bring the audio up. So you're fine without the modulator on this. It definitely has some more output power than the Hallicrafters, and sounds good all the way around. For Radio 7, I found a picture. If I go back to it, we could see that the Super MC11, not the A, doesn't have the GRT logo, but probably a lot of the similar insides minus whatever fixes they did on the A.
Roger. It's identical. Sam's photo fact, if you can believe it, has it listed as the 11/A. And the only difference that I could find is what they say about the crystal setup in there, according to Sam. And what they say is, where is it here? Come here. I got it. Here we go. It says that in the local oscillator should be 11 to 12 megahertz in the 11A, which my 11A does have, but 23 megahertz used in the 11. In other words, the channel selector crystals should be in the 11 megahertz range in the 11A, which is in my 11As, but it's also in the 11s, not the 23 megahertz crystals. And then in the 11A, your transmit oscillator crystal should be a 1.728, which is in the 11As that I have, so that's correct. But you should have a 3.456 in the 11. No, I don't. I have the 1.728. So it looks like I've got what appears to be two later model 11s. The only problem is the serial numbers on both radios. On the 11As, the serial numbers start with the number, you love it, 11. And they go 11, 00, and, oh gosh, I can't remember. Let's look here. It goes 11, 00, something, something. Okay. Now my 11As start out with 11. The 11s go 11, 0, 343. So I have the 343rd model, or one from the assembly line, I assume, on one. This one is 11, 00, 33. So I'm assuming this is the 33rd one off the line, yet it has the updated crystals for the 11A. So I don't know. I assume that there has to be some sort of tuning coil deal in there to get everything to work, but it doesn't state that in the schematic. Anyway, it works. It works well. And this is the second one. You heard the first one last week. This is the second one. There's a possibility one of them might be for sale, but I won't know more until next week. I'm going to run both of them throughout the week, check them in again, and just make sure. And if I do sell one, it'll go with a General CM3 hand mic with the meatball logo in it, which is what it originally came with.
Okay, I feel like I should have gotten a 3-unit college credit on that last transmission with all the numbers and math going on. All right, well, we'll stay tuned to this OTR station and find out what you come up with. Good audio on that. Now that was an old buzzer transmission, and it hung in there great with a great punchy audio. The audio has a little bit more high frequency than the 11As that we hear, so that could be the microphone or whatever. It's definitely punchy. I would almost like to put that on the audio board and run a little low frequency through it and see what would happen. Maybe that would be a good net control radio. All right, Radio 7, the General Radio Telephone Super MC11. We'll hear more from the group coming up. Let me see if you've got any other things, and then we're going to count an amount. And we've got people staying up early Sunday morning here on the Old Tube Radio Network, so we need to get out of here. Anyway, it sounds good. Over.
I don't know if somebody just keyed up, but I was on the unamped D104 that came with this one or the other one. They came with the other 11. This is the hand mic. I got to back off, which will go with either this one or the other one. I'm not sure, but whoever gets it, if I sell it, will have the stock hand mic. Okay, you count the amount, and I'm flipping a switch to do the last radio.
Okay, well, you know it is. There never seems to be a last radio. If we would just stay on the air, it would go all night. Well, the jingle singers say they want to get out of here, so they're doing the thing they always do right at the end. But we'll be back to take last-minute check-ins here on your Old Tube Radio Network.
You're tuned to
OTR, Channel 11,
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
Okay, the Golden Beagle. Just go ahead and check her in.
What do you call it? The Browning Golden Beagle, the R68, T68 from Browning. There was the Eagle in 1964, then the Golden Eagle before the Mark II. Sounding good, and a favorite radio of many. Thanks for bringing it by. We'll put it down as Radio 8 over.
Alrighty. Yes, the Golden Beagle from Browning Laboratory. Alrighty. When you have a Brownie on, and you have a Helicopters on, and you have a General on, it gets hot, no matter how much you run the air conditioning.
And it was recordly cold or cool today in the Central Valley at 79 degrees. It's probably 60-something right now. We heard the report from Mike up at Lodgepole where it's 38 degrees. It might even be snowing at some point. I know in talking with some stations up there in Lake Almanor, not Elsinore, Lake Almanor, they might be expecting snow. Crazy stuff. Yellowstone is closed. It's just crazy stuff here. All right, counting and mounting on the Old Tube Radio Network. And I want to make a comment. Who's checking in? Foreman 362. Thank you, Dave. Greetings from Australia, monitoring 27085 here, and the band is pretty dead. During the gray line that we had for Hawaii, we were hearing a little bit of the stations from your area. Hawaii was not real strong tonight, but Dave in Australia is mentioning that the band is pretty quiet. And we're not big powered stations here. There's some of us who could probably make the trip with beams. But keep in mind on the IC 7300, the 751A, monitoring 11 meters, we are here on Saturday evenings. That would be Sunday afternoon for you, I think, at 8 p.m. Pacific time. So we do this every week. So please tune in, Dave, and have the radios ready to go. We're listening on 27085, and try and jump in if you can. Somebody might pick you up, but that'd be cool to say hello, radio, get you on the video gate here as well. All right, we're counting and amounting as it is Father's Day somewhere. People listening and not quite here on OTR. Back in a moment for the finale and the totals on the Old Tube Radio Network. All right, anybody else for OTR?
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final OTR totals. Oh, and I was going to do the SWLs, and I'm going to add X 4,000, making a total of 71. I think that's 12 on page 1, 17 on page 2, 17 on page 3, and 24 on page 4 for a total of 71. And somebody asked, they said, is that because of my poor lighting here tonight? Is that an E.F. Johnson something behind me? Yes, it is. Can you see it? Let me turn it on. Oh, it is there. You can't see. It's just off screen. Why is you know what? The whole cameras are shifted. Am I not sitting in the right spot? I think the camera shifted because there's space way over here. Oops. I hit the camera. I constantly hit in the camera. So there you go. Yeah, the E.F. Johnson is there. Turn that on. So let me get things set up here so we can sign out. Charlie Alpha Tango is away. He's not feeling too good today, so he didn't stick around. Still have some tea left. The special OTR blend. Gonna get some donuts. There's still good stuff down in the green room. So join us after the program, won't you? All right. Let's talk about radios. There were 8 tonight. We did good. I thought we have such great weather. I thought nobody would be joining us tonight, but as always, our tube radio operators and SWLs come through. Starting tonight, most heard radio, Brownings at 3. General radio telephones at 2. Started off Browning Golden Eagle Mark III SSB. Thanks to Cliff for that. Radio number 2, Green. No, I'm sorry. It was Chris. I have written down the wrong name. It was Chris Go Boy with the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A. Then we heard Robin T123. Now, I also want to add, I don't remember which radio Dwayne was on when he checked in before the program. He probably told me, but I didn't hear it. So there should be another 9 radio. I think he was on one of the old tube radios when he jumped in. At around 4 a.m., Joe 60 was on the Robin T123 Bravo for Radio 3. Radio 4 was Sean in Sanger on the one and only Browning Golden Eagle Mark IV. Sounding good. And hearing everybody out there tonight, minus the Skipland, the Hallicrafters CB3. Radio for sale. Sounding pretty good. Looks like it, might have a 1.5 watt output, but if you don't overdrive, the microphonium sounds pretty good. Now, there's a radio that might work on the audio board and running a little bit of compression through that. That was Radio 5, the E.F. Johnson Messenger TWO. That's right. Key the microphone and count to 2. Make a transmission, and then you're good to go for the rest of the QSO. Thanks, Joe, for Radio 6. Radio 7, the General Radio Telephone Super... I can't even read my writing. General Radio Telephone Super MC11. And moments ago, the Browning Golden Eagle R68 T68. And thanks to 47 Mike up at the National Park, Sequoia National Park, 7,000 feet, where it is below 40 degrees, up at the top of Morro Rock. Can you imagine? He's standing at Morro Rock. Like he said, it's a sort of little top of the rock enclosed area behind these piped barriers. And there's all this warning about lightning. If you see clouds, to get down and duck. And this guy pulls out a lightning rod, a 6-foot lightning rod. They probably thought he was a park FBI, and sticks the thing in the air and then starts talking to somebody. That's actually pretty funny. Heard him there, heard him on the lookout, and all. I'm going to listen to the replay. Sounding pretty good. Always enjoy that. I've been up there before, and you're at 7,000 feet looking over the entire. Wouldn't that be a great place to have a cabin? Maybe we could do OTR from up there. I don't know. We'd hear everybody. The show would go on forever. Everything else sounding good. I will get out of here, taking an old Buzzard transmission. Thanks to our SWLs, we'll have the audio up for archiving, and the video, I think, just happens to be there for those who might be watching or listening in the future. You are listening to the Old Tube Radio Network. Good night, everybody, from the air chair, and we're heading over to the green room to do some good stuff. Yeah, I got to finish my special OTRT mix here tonight.
Okay. Alrighty. Catch you next week, sir. Very good show.
All right, I'm going to jump out of the air chair, get out of the seersucker suit, see if I can get Charlie Alpha Tango to take a couple licks of food and some other good stuff. Good night, everybody. As always, enjoy your radios. Get on the air. If you're studying for and don't have it, your amateur radio license, keep going. It is just getting better and better. Really neat stuff happening. Talked to 40 meters last night. The guy jumped in from Boston, and then a station from New Zealand jumped in, and we had a great little three-way conversation between all of us on 40 meters with my super low antenna. That's not supposed to happen, but sometimes crazy things do. Good night, everybody, on your Old Tube Radio Network. You know, I forgot to say it. Happy Father's Day out there.